Hello, everybody. Hope that you're doing well. I kind of prepped some stuff ahead of time just to show what I am about to do. I have sent some stuff to different people who have been interested in making challenge locks and stuff. One subject came up. Let's say you don't have any pins, or you do have pins, but you don't have the right pin. This is a key, a duplicate key. I'm going to use this sometime in the future. I'm not exactly sure. I'm going to have to file off these little peaks here to get those a little bit better. I just gave them a code that I wanted, and they cut the key to the code. I did. I had two of these. The other one went to paracentric, but just to give you an idea of how to make your own key pins, you could use long enough. Find my tweezers right here. Let's say that this key pin here is a long driver pin. You say if it's this right here is an 8. Say if you're looking for a 4 or 5 cut, we'll just use this key and just say that even though that's definitely not a 4 cut, that's probably like a 2 or something like that, maybe a 3. We'll put this into the plug. I dropped the plug, but we will, let's say, we'll put it, let's see, we'll just set it right here. Oh, well, that's a 7 cut, I think. So we'll just put it right here in the, what would be a 0 cut. All right, like that. And we'll just say, you know what? Instead of restarting, this is what I'm going to do. Took the time, grabbed some brass rod. See if I can. And I pretty much rounded, kind of pointed the tip a little bit. And we're going to put it right here in chamber 3, which I know is an 8. So, get a Sharpie with the key. Put your Sharpie right here on the ledge. Spin that bad boy around. And should have had a mark, but not quite. And it gets a little tricky. Especially if you can get this to the right angle and spin the brass around. And keeping the key pin, the key held into, there we go. To where you can mark it. Like I said, I already put a rounded tip on it. And basically what you want to do is come over here. Keep some of where you marked with the Sharpie above. And at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and cut. Guess what? Volume down. Dremel time, baby. Now, go ahead and take this out. To daddy. Come on out of there. When I was prepping the other key pin, I actually cut right there where the line and the mark met. I should have went more into the Sharpie mark. So I had to mess around a little bit and I think I got it fixed. Is this the one I was looking for? Yeah, this is what I was looking for. Now, as you see at the back, it's got the little nub, so we want to get rid of it. And tell you what, let's go ahead and kind of push that in a little bit more, down below that Sharpie mark. And these bad boys right here, get a little squeeze, a little tighten. Take it out of zoom. Don't move a little bit. I can't help it. But here we go. More Dremel magic. Volume down low. Be prepared. All right, let's just basically show you the basics. You keep on going, and what you'll do is, actually, I'm going to do one other thing. Let me put a little bit of a slight bevel on the outside for the key pin, and I'll show you what I've got going on next. Okay, with that said and done, this key pin is going to be a little bit bigger than what I really need it to be. But that is because it's easier to take off a little bit of brass than it is to replace it. Put that right back in there. As you see, it's just a little bit over. So it's going to take some work going back and forth between filing down and getting it to the right height. Then you got different things you can use. Like I use this just to get that pretty much, and once this key pin slides underneath there, I can pretty much at that point make a judgment call here, put in my driver after I get my key in there, put in my driver right there with it, and hold down a spring and turn the plug back and forth to make sure it's going to, open or not. As you notice, I did not put the key all the way in because that is not exactly the length that I want. And in the near future, I will use that key pin to make a different type of key pin. Now, let's say you wanted to, tweezers. All right. Say you got something like this, and we'll just use this driver pin as our guinea pig right here, just for demonstration purposes. We'll get this put in the Dremel. This particular one is a little bit convex here on the outside, so what we want to do is smooth it out. So we're about to use the file again and try to flatten it out. All right, now just for giggles, before introduction of the knowledge of tubing here, people would drill holes through drivers or key pins and stuff to make wafers for rattlesnakes. And when you did that, let's see, here we go. If you didn't have the right type of rig or something, turn it on, and this thing would jump around where you're trying to get to. It would basically jump around where you're trying to get to the exact center. But here's something that I kind of figured out would make things a little bit easier. Give you a little bit of guide, take you around a little Dremel tool like this. It'll, at that point, it'll wiggle a little bit, but once you find the center, it'll pretty much stay steady. And now, since you've done it with this, you can go to a smaller one and there you go. Now with that done, if you want, take this. Say this is a key pin. You can go ahead and drill in. Takes a little practice. I really haven't done a lot of this, so it may be about centered, it may not be. That's close. Let's say in this moment, this is a key pin, we'll just say much like this one here. And this one I did make to an exact number 8 to fit here in this plug as a speedy way to show the process of what we got going on here. All right, what I did is after I drilled my hole, I cut down, where's the 8 that I had earlier, right here. As you see, that was the 8 right here on the right side is bigger than the one on the left. But what I did is, of course, I did me a little hole there using that drilling technique I just showed you. You can put this in, and this is actually too short to show. I wish I had a longer one, but I don't know where any more of these are at. But this is pretty much like a anti-bump pin that you can use inside of the Bible of a lock with a super spring. And without losing the key pin here, you can put that in, and it sits in there as a pretty much a 2-piece pin. But since that is too short, this is what I decided to do, and specifically for this here. Voila. Get you in there. There is now a nail in there, which basically turns it into a 2-piece. Now, the fun thing with that, you see there's a gap between the head. Now this head is where some of the fun can begin, given the length of the nail and how far you drill down in your key pin. Here we go. Perfect. As you put your key in, like I said, it was a number 8, and number 3 is a number 8 cut. As you see, and I've tested it through this as well as the housing of this plug, because I got plugs that I've gnawed up in the past. But just for giggle's sake, we're going to go right here. We'll put this in here. And we got this neodymium magnet. All right, this neodymium magnet sits on there, and it's got that pulled up. Now, let me grab another one to show you. Let me get rid of this neodymium rod. Is that attracting? Oh, yes. See, lift it up a little bit, and now it goes into a false set. But see, now when we set it back down, it turns. It's kind of like being under spring tension. And as you see right here, if I get it to work just right, it's a little bit difficult doing this, but there you go. It turns. Now if I raise this up a little bit here, maybe too much. I'm trying to get it to where it hit the default set. There we go. It was a false set. There it is. There you go. There's your false set. If you get it just right, and see, given the fact there's only going to be so much spring tension on here, and with the spring being there as compressed, it's going to give you so much room. So if you do it just right, you'll be able to have that magnet pull up on that nail, put it in the shear line, and give you a little bit of a false set, just like that. So that's a neodymium magnet. And see, right there is the nail that I used. So if they overset, send it up, it's got a false set. But you know, like I said, if it's done just right, have a lot of fun. So it's a little bit of fun with magnets. It's one of the techniques I use, and I'm not using this pair of tweezers. This pair is slightly magnetized, excuse me. This is the main magnetized pair. And see, as longer you leave that, and of course you could take this and run it over half of the magnet, over and over and over and over again, it becomes more and more magnetized. So if you keep doing that, so eventually this becomes magnetized. Put this magnet right back here. And like I said, this is all magnetized right here. Maybe if I demagnetized it, no, it's still magnetized. So essentially, you use that in a pip, you've got a magnetized pip pen. Depending on the quality of the stainless steel, I guess the alloy of the ferrous and non-ferrous metals in it kind of depends on its ability to become magnetized. So this is one way to make the two-part pens. You got to put it back together. This is just pretty much a guinea pig, and who knows, I might use that one in the future and using the same way. But now I have another one already set up for something else, which is, I'm gonna set this over to the side. I'll deal with you later when you come into the opportunity. I took a driver, and what I did is I did not really drill down. I actually made a different type of two-part, where in this particular case fits the cut in numbers, hole chamber number 7. This right here is a 3mm brass bead, and this is a driver that I took the round Dremel bits, and yeah, there we go. So there's another type of two-part driver. Now if you want to, you can torpedo that and maybe drill a hole, put your nail there to where it sits, so you'll have to cut a little bit of this brass down some below the shear line, and take your nail and basically do like I showed you earlier with this. You know, let me see if this will work. No, I'm not really worried about it. But anyways, I gotta stay on point right here. But yeah, you take a little bit of this down, drill you a hole, just keep going without necessarily drilling all the way through your piece of brass here, which was a driver pin. But there is one type of two-part pin. This right here would actually turn into a three-part pin if you drill a hole in it and use the process that I did with the nail earlier. Now to do that, you look at your size of your pin. It's going to be a 7, so just without the key being in there, right here to chamber 5 again, put this in there, push that down real good, and you'll notice there's not much of a lip there. So if you flatten that off, take these, get you some of these bits like this, go through the process. You could take a drill bit. This here is a 1/16 of an inch drill bit, and go through the center. And the nails that I use, since that is probably about 1.5, wait, we're going to find out real quick. Very useful tool. Now it's a 1.5 something, but we'll figure out real quick what it is. 153. All right, nails that I've been using. Here's one I've already marked. It's basically 108. So if you get some 1.2 millimeter, that would probably be a little bit better. I would definitely recommend taking the ball and rounding it out so there's less of a flat area up here. So this pin itself, when you use a nail, where's the magnetized pair? Right here. Use one of these nails right here. All right. That's the, is that the other? Which one's the head end? All right. Yeah. I think the head end's at the bottom, so we'll put that in here, and I dropped it. Life goes on. Here's another one of the bigger heads. Is that the one I drilled? Yeah, it is. All right. There we go. And see, it sticks in there. So with this being beveled or concave here, that nail has a better tendency of lining up with that hole and going in there. So what you want to do is make sure that's filed flat, and you want to kind of bevel the edges of where you cut the nail. And that way it should go in with no problem. And you could put, like I said, one of these little ball bearings, like here on this one, and have this piece there. Let's see what would happen. Let's take this out real quick, see where this is going to set. Just dropped it. Right there it is. All right. I do appreciate you bearing with me on this. I could have set this up a little bit better, but here we go. We are almost there. All right. Now you see that nail sticks up past that. So basically, at that point, you can either measure about how much is sticking up past there, drill down a little bit on that, or cut a little bit of that nail off to get that to the appropriate height for the shear line. That's all on you. If it's something that you want to try, there you go. There's a little bit of madness for you to absorb and maybe practice and try in your challenge locks. I hope this helps. Best to each and every one of y'all. Hopefully this is some good information that eventually somebody might be able to use, or actually even perfect to a better way of doing it. Anyways, that's all I've got for you guys. My best to you all. Take care. Bye-bye.